What's a telltale sign two people are having a secret sexual relationship with each other? Story 1. Staring. I was secretly seeing a guy in school. As far as everyone else was concerned, we couldn't stand each other. This girl I barely knew pulled me aside and whispered, "I don't know what's going on between you two, but you need to stop staring or everyone else is going to know." Later on, he wanted to know what the girl said to me. I wasn't about to admit she noticed my staring, so I said, "She thinks there's something going on with us because you keep staring at me." Story 2. Disappearing at the same time. Taking off-site lunch at the same time. Funny thing about that, I have a genuine friendship with a, now former, coworker. We used to go to lunch together quite a bit before COVID. Yeah, people made jokes and suggestions, but nothing was going on. But one day my wife and I went to lunch at the same Chinese restaurant that our friend and I frequented, and the server was just rude as hell to my wife. Took me a while to figure out that she thought I was married to my coworker and cheating on her with my wife. I said to my wife, "I don't get it, we don't play footsies under the table, we talk about work." To which my wife said, "You mean like an old married couple?" Oh. So the next week we all went there for lunch together. The look on the server's face when I said, "This is my friend, this is my wife," was priceless. Story 3. Men don't miss hints, they just pop up and stab us in the brain a decade later. One time I was riding in the work truck and my coworker asked if I wanted to go to her house and watch movies. We were about to drive by it, and I said, "Now we are at work." She wanted to Netflix and chill before Netflix was a thing. Only reason I found out was years later one of her friends brought it up. I miss so many hints like that, it's crazy. Story 4. They act weird all of a sudden when things that should be considered normal happen. Like friends acting playful, but they suddenly stop, because they realize it might be taken the wrong way, when in reality it wouldn't. They are only fearing such as they know things are indeed the wrong way. A friend at work started secretly dating a coworker, and it was completely obvious because of the shift from the routine way they had always acted to one of almost strained professionalism when they interacted around others. Plus, you'd catch things like the sidelong glances or weird excuses about why neither one could join everyone after work when they probably had plans together. When he finally told me, I replied, "Yeah, no shit," and laid out all the telltale clues they had been showing. He was genuinely surprised as he thought that they had been successfully keeping it on the down low. Story 5. I've caught people because they didn't follow one another on social media to try to avoid suspicion, but they both posted that they were at the same place and similar photos, and despite not posting about one another, it was obvious. They didn't know what the other was posting because they didn't follow one another LMFAO, which ultimately led to the downfall of their discretion. Story 6. The little conversational clues. Like when two people glance knowingly at each other frequently, or have friendly little side whispers because they have their own thing going on apart from the group. And they hover near each other to be physically close. All those little examples of intimacy that is only between them. A married ex-friend of mine once started showing up with a woman and acting like that. I could tell they were banging, and I couldn't believe he wasn't trying harder to conceal it. Turns out, the poor woman had no idea he was married, and was unaware that everyone else didn't know. It was later traumatizing to her to realize she had been seen as a mistress, when she was the only person who didn't know what was really happening. She's now a friend of mine. He is not. Story 7. It's definitely the awkward avoidance of one another for no reason. When I was a supervisor, two of my employees were secretly dating, and being as young as they were, 19 to 20 years old, they didn't have the ability to hide their feelings without avoiding each other, as if they hated one another. I figured it out on day one. Hilariously cute. When they finally told me, I told them I already knew. They were flabbergasted that I figured it out. It wasn't that hard. When y'all make googly eyes at one another across the store or try to surreptitiously touch hands at the till, I'm gonna notice. Story 8. Had coworkers at a local mom and pop a few years back that would hold hands at work but let go as soon as someone else walked in the room. It was the unspoken secret of the store, and the owner told us in no uncertain terms that we were never to discuss it. They were very much married to other people, and from what I could see, their respective spouses had no idea about it. Even at company parties, they didn't even make eye contact. At work, though, it was almost like it was their first crush. They were both extremely nice people, just apparently not to their spouses. I walked in on them sleeping together at the store one night after close, and a couple of days later I was summarily fired. Story 9. I was at a barbecue with dozens of people. A young, ridiculously beautiful married couple was there. The wife was pregnant. They brought their short, squat, funny man roommate with them. At some point, funny man and pregnant wife are on opposite sides of the kitchen, and I caught a glance between them no more than a blink of an eye. It was the only interaction they had all night. In that instant, I have never been more sure two people were fucking. Told my girlfriend, "Those two are smashing." She told me to stop being a creep. Sure enough, 6 months later, everyone finds out their F and funny man is the dad. Remember to subscribe for more content.